SODTALK is presented by AgPro.
This is the FSU football side cemetery in its 62nd season, and it's become one of the great traditions of college football. When you're near Doak Campbell, come by the side cemetery and push the button, just like FSU football players do on their way into practice. You'll hear from legendary Seminoles who tell of the days when they brought home the victory sod from on the road, against the crowd and against the odds.
Anquan Boldin came to Florida State from Pahokee as one of the most celebrated Florida high school athletes ever. He overcame a serious injury to become a Hall of Fame receiver at FSU and went on to a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl championship NFL career with almost 11,000 yards on almost 1,100 receptions, and he became the NFL's Man of the Year. Anquan Boldin is with All-American Super Bowl Seminole Corey Simon.
Thank you, Doug. I am here with Anquan Q. Boldin, not only a great player, but just an outstanding human being. High school great, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play in the state of Florida. When was the decision made that you were going to come to Florida State, and then you were going to come to Florida State and play receiver and not quarterback?
I honestly didn't know where I was going until that morning of signing day. Obviously, I had a lot of offers. The plan was always to play quarterback. So when I finally decided to make the decision on signing day, I signed as a quarterback. And then it was getting to Florida State in the summer. And I just found myself watching practice. I was like, man, I got to do something, man, because I'm not used to watching practice. I'm used to, participating in practice. Found myself going to Coach Bowden's office after practice one day. And he said, if you really want to change, I'll allow you to go to either receiver or running back. And I had never played either before, so I was like, man, I'll just go to receiver. 2 weeks later, we played Louisiana Tech in the home opener, and I scored 2 touchdowns.
But so talk to me, what was that feeling like? You make the switch over to receiver, and then you walk into that receiving room.
That was a loaded receiver room. Obviously we had Pete, we had Ron Dugans, we had Snoop Menace. For me, it was getting in early, watching a lot of film, watching these guys, because like I said, I had never played the position before. I remember my first practice at receiver, I didn't even have on gloves.
You're on that national championship team. Talk to me about winning a national championship coming into Florida State.
I tell a lot of people, man, I was spoiled. In my 3 years there, I played in 2 national championships, and then my last bowl game was a Sugar Bowl. A lot of people can't say they played in 1 national championship. And here I am as a sophomore, at Florida State playing in 2. That was the standard for us.
But what was it like playing with the Heisman Trophy winner, Mr. Chris Winkie?
So he helped our receiver room out a lot. So me playing with Chris, man, it helped me mature, and it helped me develop as a receiver real quick.
You go on, you have this terrific college career, but you go on to the NFL and have an even more amazing career. Was there ever a day that you were walking in the NFL locker room and thinking that, man, I could have played quarterback at this level?
Oh, yeah. I thought about it several times, had I just been patient. But again, things worked out the way that they did. I think it turned out pretty good on my end. So
you had a pretty terrible injury, but you made a comeback. And you come back and you win the ACC Brian Piccolo Award. What did winning that award mean to you?
It meant a lot because for me, it showed the perseverance. For me, it was just how soon can I get back on the field? Those things happen for a reason. I think for me, man, it gave me a real appreciation for the game because you understand the game can be taken away from you at any moment. So for me, it was to get back on the field and make sure I took advantage of every opportunity I had.
So let's talk about there are 2 big games that you play in on your schedule every year. There is University of Miami and there's Florida. And your last game in Doak Campbell against a higher ranked Florida team, you go out and have 8 catches, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tell me what that was like having that kind of game and going out and getting a big win over a rival.
That was huge for me. Anytime I ever stepped on the football field, I never lost to Florida. It was a dogfight, but those are the reasons that you go to a school like Florida State. Those are the things, the games that you look forward to. Those are the games where you see what you're made of. And like I said, for me, it was, okay, yeah, I'm ready.
So you had a stellar career in college, get to the NFL, and you completely rip up the league. Did the game seem easy to you once you got to the NFL? It seems like your game was built for that league.
Playing at Florida State during that time prepared me for the NFL because I remember in training camp, I asked my coach, I was like, man, we don't hit. And this was, because at Florida State, that's what we were used to. And I remember getting to training camp in the NFL. So I was like, we don't hit like in camp? He was like, no, like. So when we were at Florida State, the offense and the defense didn't get along until Saturday. Like throughout the week, we were almost like sworn enemies. Then when I got to the NFL, that was the first time I heard about, the whole brother-in-law system. You letting dudes catch the ball, and I'm like, where does this come from?
You win a national championship at Florida State. Then you go to the Baltimore Ravens and you win a world championship. Talk to me about winning a Super Bowl, what that meant to you, and what was that experience like?
It was a great experience for me because I had the opportunity to share it with my family. I was lucky enough to play in 2 Super Bowls. It meant the world to me.
But one of the things I want to talk about is the man Anquan Boldin is off the field. You end up winning Walter Payton Man of the Year. Talk to me about your philanthropic work.
I started my foundation probably my 2nd year in the NFL. And for me, it was about just giving back as much as I can in any way that I can. Me and my wife, we did a $1 million endowment because we always wanted to pour back into kids and education. We wanted to make sure that kids who wanted to go off to college and get, a secondary education were able to. And we always wanted our legacy to outlive us.
I'm a proud FSU fan of Anquan Boldin, Hall of Fame, FSU Hall of Fame. You get into the FSU Hall of Fame and you get that phone call. What did that feel like?
Getting that call, it solidifies the work that you put into it. The days where it was just you, the days where it's hot, the days where it's raining, and you're out there pushing yourself. And then also having my kids be able to see the fruits of the labor. For me, it's a proud moment as a dad.
Anquan, thank you for representing the very best of FSU athletics. I appreciate you taking this time with me. The fraternity is very strong, and I appreciate, man, all the work that you do, continue to do. And thanks for joining us.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime.
This episode of SOD Talk was presented by AgPro.